exam gloves, extra large, box of 100. It's best to wear nitrile gloves during the setup process of the containment room.
One thing so glove is important, that's for sure. The thing is that the little clarification, I guess, or thing I would do a little bit different. In my uh, kits, like first wilderness first aid kits and stuff, and pretty much all my kits, I have changed my gloves. I used to carry a lot of gloves, like 10 or 12 and 15 pair. But after working for many years in the healthcare business, you would be surprised how many times when I go and put gloves, they tears right out of the box, literally. Like I put a pair and I have to change my gloves, or they tear in the middle of doing a procedure and things like that. I'll turn a patient and the glove is half ripping. So 100 gloves seems a lot, but sometimes you can have, like, let's say 20 for 30% of that won't work. So what I did is I changed to dish washing glove. One, they're they're more resistant. Two, they are also reusable. Just like when you do your dishes, you can dry them and everything. So with three pairs of dishwashing gloves, you could do a good cleaning, because basically what you would do, so let's say I pair one, I do something with it, and then if you have a bat of a solution that you could clean your gloves, you could put that pair of glove, use pair two to do something else, um, put them, let's say, in a bucket, and have pair one to dry then, and then you could use pair three. So with three pair of gloves, you could have a good circulations of gloves, and you would reuse the same gloves. It would be more resistance, and you wouldn't have to take as much space that the 100 box. Because don't forget that that means my hands could be different than somebody else's hands, and so if you have, like at a hospital, we have a small, extra small, whatever. So that makes a lot of box for a lot of people, and again with a pretty high percentage of breaking on you, and it's not the kind of times that you want to have something. If you go with the dollar store dishwashing gloves, just be careful. A lot of them have latex on, and so if somebody has a latex allergy, that means you cannot use those gloves. But or if you could put something above those gloves, then you could maybe try with the latex. But yeah, people with latex, a lot of those gloves are made of latex. One alternatives is a little bit more expensive but still usable. The surgical gloves. So if you have, like the gloves that you can see buy at the store that are sterile gloves, the surgical gloves are almost the same thing as like the resistance wise. Like if I'm in the trauma, a lot of time I'll put those surgical gloves. They're more expensive, obviously, because they're sterile, but they don't have the latex. Most of them don't, because they're for a medical purpose. So if you have, let's say, someone in your family or in your group that have a latex allergy, that could be a good alternative, but obviously a little bit more expensive.
N95 for paint dust mold. A lot of airborne particles can be avoided by wearing an
The mask. Some people misunderstand to use the mask because they think like in a hospital. The problem is that when you have limited resource, you cannot think like a hospital, because in a hospital we have unlimited resource. If you look during a day, because taking care of people in isolation is 70% of my job. Like I do it all the time, and to go in those rooms takes a lot of stuff, because you have to put the gown and every time you go into the room and you get out and everything and stuff, so it takes a lot of material. Five masks wouldn't last more than maybe 10 minutes because the time that you go in and everything. So in a situation where you don't have a lot of resource, again, just like I was telling about the gloves, the best way to use the mask, and the more user, the best way in low resource basically to use the mask is to have two kind of masks. So and to if you don't have also able to, so if you want to fit it in a bag, one is to have a cotton mask. Why cotton is that? It's easy to re-clean. The paper ones, a lot of people, you see them in their kits, but literally if you wear them more than 10 minutes, the mask has lost all their capacity of containing everything because they get wet. And when we used to give them an emergency, we used to give them a pile because we were saying every 10 minutes you need to change your mask, because as soon as you breathe in and the humidity goes in, it's paper, so it loses integrity. So cotton mask, and if you always have three. Why three? Is because, well, one is soaking in a solution that you can do to clean those masks. Then you can use the other two in a rotation. So one can dry, one gets clean, and one is in use. And so that's why the number three. It's just that it's always, so one is drying or there's in the process, because there's different ways of killing bacteria out of that. But if you go in the room beside in low resource, don't wear the mask, make them wear the mask. It's the easiest way to contain. Again, they're the reservoir. When we go into rooms, we wear the material because we have unlimited. But if you go to a person and you have limited in the mask, make them wear the mask. So that's where N95 could be reused, and again, just for airbornes. Most of the time, because if you have droplets or contacts, so first of all, contact, you don't need it. Droplets, that's like influenza and things like that. If they wear the mask, they're contained, because droplet means when I sneeze, it sprays out. But if I put something that doesn't spray out, then that means it's contained. Even airborne, most of it would be retained, but again, just in case that it goes through, N95s would be better, but make them wear the mask. So that way, whatever it is, it's contained within them, not to you. And that means you could save mask and don't have to wear like a whole box, because it's unbelievable how much you can go through with this. And so with tree cotton, you could contain about 80% of the stuff, and again, just for droplet, not for contact. And airborne, I would make them wear the N95. And the best thing for them too, if you're going to reuse, instead of buying those simple masks, would be to have like those masks that are self-adjustable. So that means different people could adjust it, and have those canisters that could contain. But most of the time, just with contact masks with a do-it-yourself kit like this, that's what I would go through. This is what I have in my kits. But make the patient wear the mask, not the person that goes in, because everything is contained with it. I'll add some things to the kit that I think could be important to think about. And on part 3, I'll show a similar kit that I put together. So see you soon.